wanted a kiss, I would have called your mother.
I've worked with Chris Farley on an HBO special, and I wanted desperately to do a movie with him, and across the Paramount desks and Lorne Michaels' desk came this script.
When Lauren pitched it to Sherry Lansing, the idea for the story, he pitched the idea of Chris Farley and Rob Lowe being brothers.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
And it was later then that it was changed, and David was brought in, and although they aren't literal brothers in the movie, it became these very much like they are brothers.
Shut up, David. A lot of nothing. Who's writing me? I thought it was a funny story. A whole lot of nothing.
I was on Saturday Night Live. I've been on there a few seasons. Not done as much as Chris, that's for sure. Chris came on and hit the ground running. I was kind of a brighter performer.
Would you be a lamb and not smoke? Thanks.
But I'd done a few things, and we shared an office, Chris and I, so Lauren Michaels would watch us around the office, and we were like a little team.
How do you think the eggs felt? Hey, let's find out. I'll be you, and you be the eggs. How about that? Hey, look at this! I'm gonna throw some eggs around! Look at me go here!
Particularly when you're writing a comedy, the more that you know the person you're doing it for, you know their moves, you know their strengths, and it's easier to write something that you can see them doing and being funny doing.
But I'm sitting around as soon as I find out he wants to buy something.
That's okay, you did great up till there.
Sorry.
That was good.
That was very good.
It was a really exciting picture to make because so many of the people were first-timers. It was my first picture to be an editor. It was Pete's second picture, but it was like Fred Wolf's first. And while Chris and David had been in smaller roles in pictures, this was really their first time to be starring roles.
Well, it hasn't changed me one iota. You know, a lot of times...
I think Lauren, as a producer, was great. He obviously gave us a huge chance, and initially is the whole reason it got made, by saying, these two are funny, you two write something for them, and kind of just steered the ball after that.
Before Tommy Boy, I had never worked with Lauren. I, of course, knew of him, had met him. I'd worked with Saturday Night Live cast members. I worked with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd when I produced The Blues Brothers, and had been around the show, but we had never done a film together. And when I asked, what do you have, he said, about 30 pages of script and a release date. So I knew from the get-go that this was not going to be a run-of-the-mill process in getting this film to the screen.
A/B comment, Mark.
And that's when the whores come in.
Okay, good. That was good speed. Let's keep it that speed. Do it one more time. Whores. Almost sounded like horse. Okay, ready? And that's when the whores come in.
They do it too.
Give it a good... Okay, okay, excellent. Bonnie and Terry Turner wrote the original draft called Billy the Third, a Midwestern, and I came on, and at the time that I came on, they were just starting up a television show. They had gone on to do Third Rock from the Sun and have a very successful television career, and they really couldn't afford the time to stay back and do the rewrites on the script because we had some pretty, extensive ideas. So Fred Wolf came in.
Okay, so they had a script, a basic idea that they wanted Farley and Spade to be in a movie, and there was a bunch of changes that needed to happen, and so Lauren said, oh, maybe you could go and sit with Pete and maybe throw a few jokes his way, because you know Farley and Spade's sense of humor and the way they talk and so forth.
And Lauren gave him to me for about a month and a half, 2 months before he had to go back to the SNL season, and I made sure I wrung out every ounce of energy that Fred had.
It looks real.
And then it became evident that we needed more and more stuff. And the two of us at his house, we started putting together cards for what an entire new second and third act would be, carting up like the set pieces and where we were headed, because the guys were just on the road selling brake pads. That's the basic premise of this movie. And as we kept carting it, it was never really stated officially what my involvement was going to be actually as the writer of the screenplay. And I had been hired to do, like, it's called punch-up. And so it's just an unofficial sort of, you sit there and throw jokes out and whatever.
Fred hung in there, and I remember calling it the Magic 66. He gave 66 pages of something wonderful about 3 weeks before we started shooting, and then I knew we actually had a movie, even though I didn't have a second half. I had no idea how the movie was going to end. I knew if we started with the 66 pages that we'd have something.
Marker.
That's right, you're not your dad. He could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
Ketchup popsicle?
Yeah, I learned everything I knew from him. Yeah, I learned everything I know from him. I didn't have a father and he looked out for me. But you, he was your real dad, and you just didn't care.
Filmmaking is an evolutionary process, even in the best of times. So when you don't start with a completed script and you have to start at a certain time and end at a certain time because of people's schedules, it forces you to work in a certain way. So the trick is to still get good work under those conditions.
Yeah, we got it's been great. 15 seconds of the movie, right? Now we got another hour and a half to go.
It was a very kind of troubled schedule because we were supposed to shoot in the summer before they started back on Saturday Night Live in the fall. Well, of course, as movies go, things didn't quite work out that way, and so we started shooting late in the summer.
We started in September, right when Saturday Night Live starts. Also, Toronto isn't 15 degrees yet, but it's heading there quickly. You know when you get so cold you can't enunciate, you start going, here you're in at. You start foaming. That's what's happening to me. And so we've got a timetable of, we're shooting in Toronto and we're shooting Saturday Night Live. And we had a little tiny plane. I just called it a private jet because it sounded cooler, but it was basically getting an MRI. You lay down, it's like this big. So we couldn't stand up in it, it's tiny, it's stuffed with candy and booze. And we would fly back and forth and do Saturday Night Live, Saturday obviously, Toronto, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Fly back Wednesday for read-through, fly back Wednesday night to Toronto, shoot Thursday, fly back Friday, Saturday, do the show. And fly back after the cast party in the middle of the night Saturday. That worked well for about a week.
That's it! You are gonna die! I am gonna get you!
Because of the work that needed to happen, anyway, it was kind of a saving grace. We needed time, and because they had to go and do Saturday Night Live, it actually gave us time to think of new scenes and new ideas and actually put them into production.
And action.
No!
Take. And action.
No!
That was good. One more like that. And action. Cut.
It's interesting. A lot of people think, you know, making a comedy, it's the life of the party and you're going to have the best time. And sometimes it actually is a lot harder than making a drama because you know if it's not working, you can't leave until something happens right.
Well, actually, it echoed the show. The way Saturday Night Live was put together is we have to do a live show Saturday night at 11:30. Come hell or high water, it's got to be ready to go, and so you've got to put it out there on its feet.
I wish this card I could play around with.
Yeah, you can.
Or,
I cut myself. I'm getting a zit.
Plus, we were left to our own devices up there because it was so, we were so under the gun, so you didn't have time to have your second thoughts and third thoughts. It was pretty much like, I think it's going to work. Let's put it on its feet and see if it'll work.
I have questions for my director. I like to get in tune with him and sync. It's like a train, a runaway locomotive. If I just say, check the elevators, I'll check the bank. No, you. That's a stupid question. All right, I like to just check in.
It was great to have Pete Siegel directing Tommy Boy. We had done The Third Naked Gun together. It was Pete's first feature, and for me was a great experience. We had developed a shorthand in terms of working with each other and a trust. And given the working conditions that we had, it was essential that we be able to trust each other to get the picture done. One guy came out from behind there, and now someone crossed in the deep.
Pete is a comedy mathematician. That's the way I look at it. He would stage all of the jokes, all of the gags in Tommy Boy with a mathematic, sort of chemist's construction.
We've got kind of an empty foreground area that in the beginning of the shot might be nice to have some crosses.
Yeah, just let it roll.
They were literally like puzzles that he would place. Everything was very precise, everything was very thought out, very little was left to chance. It was always about where the camera was and where you looked. He was very, very precise. And, you know, he knows how to deliver that joke.
So once you take the toad, right? Mm-hmm. Then wait till I say action and go, wombat! So like you're holding your breath with it. Because then when I cut to this shot and you're going, you know, that'll show that what you've been doing.
I think he brings a class to a genre that has been disrespected in the past.
Steady yourself, steady, and shh, and action.
And it, to use a Farley phrase, it churches up what could be seen as sort of just a genre picture. I think he makes them bigger than they can be. And but the most important thing is he's a huge comedy fan, and he's a huge fan of the guys who are funny, and that's really important. That's great.
And go. Okay, walk man and action.
Wombat! Woo! Hey guys, do I look different now that I'm a college grad?
Not really.
Well, apparently.
First of all, Chris was one of the funniest people I'd ever met.
No! I got that deer!
And so I knew if I could at least harness some of that energy that he had, we'd really have something.
Oh, my fanny! My fanny made a mess!
He inhabited that part. It wasn't like there was the part of Tommy Callahan existed before Chris Farley. It was molded and shaped and written to what Chris could do.
Mark it, David.
Gotcha. 525, that's it! That's it! Oh!
We have Spade.
Hey!
Mark it, David. Here we go.
What are you doing?
It's 9:25. Sorry.
Here we go. And
That's it! Oh!
and cut.
That's it! Oh!
Jeez.
He was a surprisingly good athlete. He was flexible and powerful, and he had, like Belushi, he had a great sense of balance, and you know, he could move.
Hey, mama, don't you treat me wrong. Love me all my life. Oh,
He could do things physically that people would say, oh my God, somebody that heavy would not be able to do.
Take 3 marker.
Your firearms are useless against them! Don't be a hero! Oh, God!
There's a scene that I forgot about in the deleted scenes on this DVD where he was running to campus late for class, and he flipped over some cars and ran across the hoods and somersaulted and everything, and dented the crap out of these cars, by the way. You know, unfortunately, it didn't wind up in the movie, but that just was a testament, you know, to how fearless he was. Falling through tables? No, there was nobody I could get to do it.
And you can go back and see things on Saturday Night Live, from his ice skating to do other things, where you really get the command that he has of his body and how skilled he is at physical comedy. It's not just a question of letting yourself fall and letting gravity do the work.
he said, Chris, we'll get some stunt guy to come in and do this. Absolutely, he wouldn't hear of it. He was completely dedicated to doing all his own comedic stunts.
See, I'm kind of looking up for that, for all. You know what I mean? So what's the best way that I can get the shot right before I hit the table in the camera? Marker.
It's scary for producers, but pretty amazing for the audience when they can see, when you don't cut away from the face and you actually see him fall like a big oak tree.
We're going to show...
And cut.
Cut it.
You okay?
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Chris and I recognized each other. There's no question about that. We had a definite recognition of each other as being a certain type.
Damn, I'm proud of you. Mr. Big-Time College Graduate, huh? Say thanks, Dad. Thank you, Jesus.
Sorry.
You look at that movie now and you think, my God, they are related. They have to be related. They are exactly alike. And that is a testament to Mr. Dennehy.
There's, as I said, there are times when you just feel luck is going your way, and I think we couldn't imagine anyone but Brian Dennehy playing that part. We'd written it that way.
There was a moment, just before the wedding, which was just about this much in the script, and Brian said, "Can I try something? Is it okay if I don't say these lines?"
Look, Tony, there's something about getting old and being alone. You know, there's something... Dad, it's cool.
And it was an ad-lib moment, and it said what, 1,000 words couldn't say.
So when you're doing this kind of insane comedy, and especially with younger actors, you want to populate the film with other characters played by actors who really give viability and earnestness and a reality to the movie.
One Denver, take 5, Ma. Tom, I want to make a little announcement. There's an airplane flying overhead.
I want to print that.
It was a hard part to cast, the mom part, because it had to be somebody that wasn't immediately apparent that they were going to be the bad character. And she's so sweet and she's so lovable that in life, and besides being drop-dead gorgeous, that you never suspect Beverly.
I was in Hong Kong. Actually, I was in China when I got the call. And they asked me if I wanted to do it. I knew about Chris, of course, about Chris Farley. I got very excited and I got on a plane, and I think it was definitely within 48 hours I was coming out of that swimming pool in Toronto. I had to get from Hong Kong to Toronto and literally jump in the pool.
The first day I met Bo Derek was the day she came out of the pool. And the first moment I met her, she was showing me her bikini. Is this okay? And then I'm doing that guy thing where I'm just staring right at her eyes. Fine, it's perfect. You can't look. Even if they're giving you license to look at my body in this bathing suit, it's for art, it's a movie, I couldn't do it. And so literally on film was for the first time that I actually saw what she was, oh, it's blue.
53 Bravo, take 2, Ma.
Hello, Paul.
Mom, you're looking good.
You have a nice trip.
Yeah. You got a problem?
No, not really. Except for 2-point takedown.
Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
Well, Rob is, to me, one of the comic gems of that movie. I mean, people don't necessarily expect him to do what he did in that picture. He was very funny.
Big 4 marker. Not good.
Kelly, come, Cal. Come here, Cal. Come here, Cal. Kelly, come. Here, Cal. Come here, Cal. Come here, Cal. Kelly, come. Come here, Cal. Come here, Cal. Up. Come here, Cal. Up, Cal. Good girl. And a girl, Cal. Good girl, Cal.
He was such a, not only a pro, but a good sport, because we really beat the crap out of him.
It's such a glamorous life, isn't it?
He did all his own stunts, except for one, which didn't make it into the movie, but you can see it in the deleted scenes when he falls off a water tower. But anyway, Rob was fantastic.
We wouldn't want to hurt that jacket.
No.
Do you want to back that
this?
Ready? And action. And go.
Hurt myself.
I think one of the things that makes comedy work is you can't be afraid. You got to look like a fool. And nobody looks like a bigger fool than I do in Tommy Boy.
Take 3.
God, he's so sweet. You have no idea how much having you and your mama's family means to him. He says the sweetest things about her.
Yeah, well, everything he does is sweet. So when does Sweetie get back?
This Friday, which is good because we're backed up on shipping orders as it is.
I'm sorry, I had to. That's great. It's so great.
And when you're doing a comedy like this where there's a lot of big jokes and set pieces, we wanted to anchor the romance of it with an actress that could portray this character in a very real but sweet way. And Julie does just a great job.
Watch your language in front of the lady, punk.
Ah, dang. So you're saying about...
I'm sure. You better watch your mouth, punk, because I'll come like wind and rain all over ya. Horses patoot, jeepers creepers.
I had known David Spade. We were in acting class together, actually. I was in class with him and Rob Schneider, and they used to get kicked out a lot for making fun of people, like they were in high school, but they were the most interesting part of that particular class, so I hung out with them a lot, and I became friends with David. So I got the script, and I was a big SNL fan always, and I loved Chris and David, and so I auditioned and read for it, and they liked me, and they cast me. It wasn't more complicated than that, really.
Sir, it's pathetic.
It was partially the way the character I played was written, but it was also the relationship that Chris and I had. And that was really the most special part of the whole experience of working on the movie.
That was awesome. I love you.
When we started surrounding ourselves with Brian Dennehy and Rob Lowe and Julie Warner and Bo Derek, suddenly we knew we were onto something. And, we were the little engine that could, because we knew nobody really knew Dave and Chris from outside SNL. And so to surround those guys, especially then with the addition of Dan Aykroyd, we knew we were onto something.
Mr. Zielinski, I'm Tommy Callahan, Big Tom Callahan's son.
One more time from the top. Here we go.
I like that little stutter, man.
One little heavy with the pine tree air.
Okay, here we go. One more. That was
6 marker.
Okay, here we go. Serious.
He came in to meet with Pete, and he had this character down. And he had already come up with a voice, and he said, oh, and the haircut should be a straight-up buzz. And he had this wonderful Zielinski character already working on it when he first came in to talk to Pete.
The guys look sharp, really sharp.
We shot everything with Dan in, I think, about 2 or 3 days. And since then, I remember he signed my poster. He said, thanks for introducing me to a whole new generation that knows me as Zielinski.
Take 11. Marker.
That does it. I'm not going to stand here and take this.
No.
Huh?
I don't know.
Here we go.
He's got nothing.
Take 12. Marker.
That does it. I'm not going to stand here and take that.
Not over yet, creep.
David, I've known him for a long time, and he's got that little style of his down perfectly.
So I'm going to cut after other guys break necks.
Sorry.
Then I'll stop.
We cut before the movie starts and we hire someone else.
David has a moment in the movie I really like where it's out on the street.
Hey, you tried as hard as you could. When we first started out, I thought you just walked through this like you walked through everything else, but you didn't. Your dad would have been proud of you.
And he's really great. David's an actor that has, everybody knows he's funny, but he also has, an ability to do drama. And just that one little moment. This is a really great moment.
Somebody's got a little case of forget line-itis. It's had it for about 12 weeks. All set here. Did I know it was good when we do it? I think that I knew after when things weren't good, because I knew what was good. I knew that no matter how tired we were and how crazy, it's still funny. So it's like surgery. Well, no matter what happened during, afterwards, you're glad it's done and you're happy. You go, you check the elevators, I'll check my mark. I've been looking for it this whole time.
You son of a...
Despite how tough it was to make the movie, the fact that we were really enjoying ourselves during the making of the movie was a good sign.
Marker.
Feels good up my ass. Rolling.
I haven't seen everybody in a long time, but I can account that they had a good time making the film. We all did.
Come on, Norman!
Sometimes when you make a comedy, 3 or 4 people are in one movie and 1 or 2 people are not in that same movie. And I think everyone in this picture is in the same movie.
You better run!
You know, it's kismet. You know, sometimes it's just right place, right time, right people in the right time of their lives. And that's what this was.
Oh, that's it! Keep it coming! All over! I'm not queen yet. You'll come back Tuesday.
I remember the first time that Sherry actually saw the movie. The lights came up and she was crying.
And she said, that's not the movie that I bought. But it was a compliment. She loved it, but it was not the original movie that they bought. It sort of found itself, and you know, there's a lot of our flesh and blood in there along the way.
525, that's it! Oh!
Head cut. Very good.
Boy, I hit it.
And it was no blockbuster. That's the other funny thing. People think it made hundreds of millions of dollars. It didn't. It probably made 35 million. But you know what I mean? There's some that just make $300, $400 million. Nobody really cares. So it's more important for me to have something that sticks around.
To this day, you know, having done several movies that have grossed, you know, 5 times what that movie has done, still the movie that people react to the most is Tommy Boy.
Housekeeping, you want men for pillow?
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
That's when you can really feel good, you know, about a movie, when you know that it's transcended and become part of the culture.
That guy in a little coat.
Maybe it isn't, you know, The Godfather, but it has brought so much joy to so many people, and to be part of that is, you know, it's a cool thing.
Luke, I am your father.
I've interrupted happy time.
I think what made this film resonate with people was its heart. It had a lot of jokes, had a lot of laughs, but it also really had a story that they got invested in. And I'm so glad that we got that, even down to just that one little fish that jumps when he's waiting for a response from his father. And that's the, you know, the final cherry on top to Tommy Boy.
Thanks, Dad. Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.